Morning peeps, welcome to another vlog. It is officially week 5 of plumbing school. We're here in the house, Charity and I. We're just hanging out. It is Sunday right now. There are a couple of things that I have to do right now. Things are coming to fruition. Things are being handed in as we speak. So I need to be on top of everything. And on top of that, I also need to start studying for backflow. Now backflow is a course that is additional in this year of plumbing school. Not all schools do it because normally you have to take a night course of backflow, but my school is actually offering it joined within the program of advanced plumbing school. That way you can get certified. So it's awesome. It's really good. Also, we are doing something, another stack elevation, as you can see here. However, the difference is this is a drafting course. I had to actually do the outlines of this house as well. We were given blueprints initially. I had to make a stack elevation out of it and then draw in all the fixtures. And this is something that's due this week. And the following week is an isometric drawing. And if you don't know what isometric is, it's a special ruler you have, which is a 30-60 degree ruler. And with it, when you draw it out using that ruler, it'll actually look three-dimensional. Really, really interesting, but very difficult, I might add. So a couple of things I gotta do. First thing is I have to redo this. This fixture right here should be actually way closer over here. So now I'm contemplating whether I just white it out and do it over on this page or start over. Most likely I'm going to start over because it'll look a little bad as a finished product to have whiteout on it. That's that, and then I gotta start studying for this Friday's test. Like I said, a lot to handle, a lot to juggle. You have the backflow course that's looming over your head constantly, and then you also have theory, which is looming over your head constantly as well. So a lot to take in, a lot to do. Let's start week 5 of plumbing school. Let's go. Okay, peeps. So, it is currently Thursday at 8:19 in the morning, and I gotta tell you what's going on, because it's a little bit of a change of plan from what we were doing these past few weeks. So, I didn't go into school today, and let me explain to you why. So, last week we had a snowstorm, and it was really bad, and the school never got canceled. But I think there were complaints, because as of yesterday, which was Wednesday, the school shut down because there was gonna be an ice storm, and what you just saw was the ice storm. So basically, it started raining, and as it was raining, the temperature dropped drastically, so everything started becoming ice. All the sidewalks are ice, the whole driveway is ice. Now, here's the thing. So, class ended really early yesterday. It ended around noon when it normally would have gone all the way till 4 o'clock, so the school was shut down. So I thought to myself, okay, good. If the school shut down, I'm just gonna spend the rest of the evening studying for this week's test. Lo and behold, as of 3 p.m. yesterday, they all kicked us out of the caf and said, you gotta go home. So now I gotta spend 2 hours driving home, and it was a disaster because that's not the usual plan. So here's the thing. I was thinking to myself, I'm behind in the studying. If I go into school today, I have to spend an 8-hour day learning things that aren't going to be on this week's test. So in my mind, it makes more sense to stay home, study for the whole day, get really prepared for the test tomorrow, and then as of the weekend, start studying for the following week. That way, I can crank out this test and hammer it as hard as I can and get as best of a mark as I can, and then I can slowly start trying to figure out what notes I missed for next week. That's the logic I'm using. It's purely a survival type of logic that's totally based on the test. I'm not sure if it's the best sort of idea, but I think it makes the most sense to get super prepared for this week's test so I can do as well as I can. Let me know in the comments below if you think that's a good idea or if you think it's a bad idea, and we're gonna find out by this week's test if it was in fact good. But I'm heading out to Tim Hortons right now. I'm gonna get that steep tea in me and some Timbits. I'm gonna start cranking out some studying. I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna go back and do more, and that's what the day is going to consist of. So let's go do a bunch of studying. Peeps, Kenny Molotov here at home with a really short haircut. I wanted to go over, like I did in the other videos, what I got on this week's test, especially since I took that date. I ended up getting 82 out of 95, put me at around an 89%, which was really good for me. Was my highest mark actually in the entire semester, so I'm really proud about that. But I want to talk to you guys about what I got, what the test was on, what it essentially looked like, so that you know when you get into advanced plumbing school, especially here in Ontario, Ontario, what exactly you're going to be encountering when you get into the classroom. So we did a few things on risers this week. Risers are pipes that travel throughout buildings vertically usually. We talked about different type of water meters that you find out in the field. We also talked about backwater valves, which are not the same as backflow valves. A backwater valve is installed on a drainage pipe to stop a surcharge of water in the reverse direction when a backflow preventer, for example, is designed to do that on a potable water system, which is something I've mixed up in the past in certain videos. We also talked about grease interceptors. So just to go through it, name 3 types of water meters. You have a rotating disc meter, you have a turbine meter, you also have a compound meter. 2 styles referring to the inside flow designs for large flow meters. Turbine is one, and then you have turbo. List 3 specific riser layouts for high-rise buildings. You have an upfeed system, a downfeed system, and also a mezzanine system. Describe the location of the isolation valve serving a riser. Each riser must have a valve at the source of the riser. What type of pump is used to increase pressure to supply water to the upper floors in a high-rise building? That's known as a booster pump. Okay, a backwater valve is required when there's a possibility of a surcharge if the fixtures are located below the level of the adjoining street. A lot of the times when sanitary sewers are clogged up, what will end up happening is so much volume of water is going into them that it has nowhere to escape, so it ends up going back into the houses, into the basement, usually through a floor drain. Backwater valves are installed to hopefully protect the owner from a situation just like this. Unfortunately, there are a few things that could go wrong with backwater valves. Sometimes they don't activate because something obstructs them from moving backwards. So it's not a method that always works, but it's usually suggested. There are 2 styles of backwater valves used in horizontal piping in a basement. The bottom lift main line can be described as normally open, and the top swing check style can be described as normally closed. The type of backwater valve installed in a floor drain is called a flood check. We've installed a few of these, Dad and I. It's a special little mechanism that you put into a floor drain that if there's a surcharge, it'll actually close and won't allow water to come through it. Pretty useful stuff. Backwater valve may serve fixtures connected to the branch provided that all the fixtures are located on the same story. According to code, a grease interceptor is required anywhere food is cooked, prepared, or processed. A grease interceptor is not required in suites of residential occupancy. Name the vents required to serve the piping for a grease interceptor. You need an airbound vent and an anti-siphon vent. Now, we learned quite a bit on the sewage treatment process, and we were given a chart here, and this is a chart that was verbatim off of another chart that we got, and we had to memorize all the steps. And what the teachers ended up doing was mismatching the numbers and telling you to fill in what the appropriate number was to the box that it represented. We ended up going to a sewage treatment plant actually as a class trip, which was pretty cool stuff. And then we were given another drawing to label, and then we were given the exact same drawing to actually size. So peeps, that was a whole week of plumbing school. 3 videos left of this series, and then we're gonna get back into the rough-ins and the finishing and also the service work that my dad and I are doing from a day-to-day basis. Hope you enjoyed. Like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll see you guys very soon. Kenny Molotov, guys. Peace, baby.